Hello again, it's Garsen. Welcome back. We're on part 3 of Necromancers. We've looked at Wizard. We've looked at our Spore Druid. But what about these two in the background? What were they all about? We have the Oathbreaker, Shadowheart. She kind of forgot her oath. No surprise there. And then we have Astarion. He's kind of become quite the Vampire Lord Ascendant, right? So, let's go ahead and get right into it. Let's see what they can do as little Necromancers. We can make a zombie, or a skeleton rather. We can make a mummy. And you know what? This time we'll invite the big boy elemental here. Got the earth elemental. We even have a little quasit, like shovel. Okay. And what about the Oathbreaker? We can make, get ready for it, one skeleton. Woo! Alright. Talk about Death Knight. Alright, anyway. So let's team these two up. Let's go to town. Alright. I think we need to command you to grovel. Yes, down on your knees. The Vampire Lord has come. So what we'll do is we'll hide the dead bodies over here. Nobody noticed that? Alright. Alright, then we have the Vampire Lord Astarion. What he'll do is Vampire Touch. So, level 5 spell slot, right? This gets upgraded all the way to level 5. And now it's a concentration spell. And we heal off of that. Ooh, Vampiric. And now, every time we have an action, we'll use that. But we also have our bonus action. Hiya! Yeah, good damage with the necrotic, see? Okay. So now, we'll step aside. Let our little quasit come in for a little hit. Like, hiya! Okay. Hit him. Yeah! Okay, you just missed a dude. Whatever. Just hide behind the chickens. You lovable failure. Okay. Same thing with the skeletons. Okay, fantastic. I love how the guy's, you know, groveling and you still can't hit him. No big deal. We're actually going to pop a haste potion because why not? So, unlike our bonus attack from Paladin, if we use a spell, we can't use it in another attack. So what we'll do is we'll just sit there and use... How about we use inflict wounds? Yes, insult to injury. Yes. There we go. Alright. Or injury to insult. I guess it works. It's kind of backwards right now. Alright. And then you can stay there on the ground. You can go ahead. Come on. No. Get back down on the ground. Alright, we'll put you on the ground soon enough, right? How about we come over here with the mummy? Kindly scare him, please. Yeah! You're scared now, aren't you? Death has come. No. We need to take the hit because we're using Vampiric Touch. Alright, come over here, Aronson. Oh, that's weird. Alright, let's see. Let's put him back in the ground with a multi-attack. Oh, damn. Resilient. Okay. And then, while we're dealing with that guy... Okay, we're going to use our Oath Charge, Spiteful Suffering. And now we have advantage against you, plus you'll be taking necrotic damage. We're even going to use our glove, level 4 inflict wounds. Let's get some real Death Knight, Death Coil there. 39's not bad, actually. Gotta give you credit there. Alright. And you stay back there. And you know what? Just go invisible. Never show your face again. Okay. And then we're going to touch him. Ooh, touch him. Ooh. There we go. Suck the life out of him. But actually, what I want to do is try and piss somebody else off. Alright, come here, Murphy. Murphy, come here. Come here, Murphy. What are those skeletons doing over there? Oh, well, I'll just ignore it. Oh, now I'm taking it personal. Okay. Let's see if we can scare him, too. Uh-oh. Ow. Alright. Elemental. Alright, so... You know what? I just can't resist anymore. I have to smite! I have to smite! There we go. Down. Murphy, I guess you'll just chill out there. Sorry, when you're a paladin, you just can't resist the need to smite. Alrighty. So, obviously, we're kind of riffing off, right, from the last video. As always, appreciate you guys watching, but this is part 3. That's why we're doing a quicker intro here, getting right into it. Alright. So what's the deal? Why are we doing these guys? Alright. So we're talking about part 3, Oathbreaker. which is a dedicated subclass. It's very much related to Necromancy, Necromancers, and stuff. And then we are talking about Warlock because, well, it's a little bit of a contrarian patrician choice, you know, like, but we'll talk about it. I'll kind of explain why. As always, thank you very much. We're hungry for souls, and I can't do it without you. So if you've enjoyed the video series so far, I appreciate you. We'll talk more about it later, but as always, I do appreciate you. Thank you for watching. All right, let's dive into what part 3 means. If we've already checked out the wizard and druid back here, right? Let's hop on back. We just looked at the spore druid, and we just looked at our wizard, right? Everybody come on over. We're a big family here. All right. So we have our necromancer options and choices. We saw those, but now we're going to take a look at... We already saw examples in necromancer, kind of what it is, like as a theme, as a simple gameplay mechanic and style of play, but also the subclasses. So what about any other choices? Maybe Oathbreaker, right? So Oathbreaker is a pretty dedicated choice towards this theme. I might be getting this wrong, but I think when you see things like Spiteful Suffering, Control Undead, Inflict Wounds, right, which is a very rare spell actually. So we want to look at Oathbreaker, what 12 levels gives us. Maybe how it breaks down in leveling a little bit. Also, what does Paladin actually bring to the equation? If you're just going for Paladin, not maybe so much for multi-class. We'll touch on that just a little bit longer. And then, are there any other playstyle choices, or for the theme of like a Necromancer, necrotic damage, all that? So, Sorcerer does have level 6 spell slots when you look at it at level 12. So that is kind of important for something like Animate Dead in order for it to scale up, unlike our Paladin here. Cleric, the Death Domain, we covered that. There's a preview for the new subclass coming out in patch 8. Like the end of January or the beginning of February. Go check that out. I'll link it at the end. But then Warlock, I kind of see some potential in it, but there is just a unique little thing, and that's kind of my style. I guess that's kind of why you guys like it, like me talking about this stuff. So I'm going to go over that cool build too, but let's mostly talk about the Death Knight in the room. Let's see. Let's come back to Shadowheart. We'll take a look at her. But overall, does this mean this is a Death Knight? Well, Oathbreaker Paladin is a specific subclass where if you break your oath, go figure, you will actually lose your oath charge powers and whatnot. It's not all that significant, but if you don't mind dealing with the whole oath breaking thing, you will get a new subclass. So gameplay wise, it seems to be way less about the whole raising the undead and whatnot, even though there's literally a control undead thing here, trust me. Okay, it seems more about, well, you're a paladin, so Divine Smite always seems to be the best card to play with your spell slots. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's still Radiant, which is a little down, like, disappointing, but I'll inject my opinion later. You're still all about the Divine Smites. Your other Smites are, well, you know, gameplay wise, they're not as useful as Divine Smite. Inflict Wounds is something you do get, and it does scale with your spell slots. It does get a little stronger, right? But yeah, it's only up to level 3 spell slots because you're a half caster. You are a martial, so at level 5 you do get your extra attack. You attack once, and then in the same turn you're going to attack twice. This is nerfed in honor mode, so you really only get that one extra attack per round. Just keep that in mind. That's the reference I'm coming from, honor mode perspective, right? They do have auras, which are actually pretty good. I don't know so much about the exclusive one for Oathbreaker, but the overall, before I get into my opinion, I will just right out the bat let you know I feel this is very undercooked. I'm very biased with Paladin oath design, subclass design, maybe Paladin in general. I'm not a hater of Paladin, just kind of like, I don't get it sometimes, but maybe I just need to do some more videos on them. Fantasy archetype, the theme is more of a fallen paladin, maybe not a death knight. You're sort of a death knight, and you don't have to worry about oaths, okay? Again, with the gameplay, story, gameplay integration, you as a paladin have this restriction on, depending on your oath, how you're going to approach certain dialogues and choices. Necromancy spells, you literally in the game get Inflict Wounds, which is not very common for Necromancy. You get Bestow Curse, so right here, you can have various effects with these. Wow, there's a lot of them. And then there's Animate Dead. These are all considered Necromancy spells. Animate Dead being the obvious Necromancy option right there, raising the dead with a level 3 spell slot. So let's actually break down the subclass, and then we'll kind of like look at it on its own example. So level 1 is what were you guys going? Get the fuck, get back. Ooh. Okay, level 1. If you break your oath right off the bat, pretty easy. By the way, take I think Oath of the Ancients and just go kill a random innocent NPC, and the Oathbreaker has showed up, and then they'll start talking about oaths. Just don't renew your oath subscription, and you're good to go. And then you will get Spiteful Suffering as your first oath charge ability. So right here on the screen, what it is going to be is, I'll leave this up here. You can hover right there. Alright, so Spiteful Suffering is an oath charge ability. You have 1 oath charge per short rest. It will take an action. You have to select a target, and for 3 turns, they're going to take a little necrotic damage. It's going to be 1d4 plus your charisma in necrotic damage. So every turn, they'll take this much damage. And while they have that up, you'll have advantage on your attacks against them. I think everybody has advantage on them, but I'm not sure. It is a charisma saving throw, which kind of makes me go, really? But I'm sorry for injecting my opinion here. We'll move on, okay? Don't really know why it's got to be a saving throw. Maybe it doesn't really come into play too much. But level 3, Inflict Wounds plus Hellish Rebuke. That's the spells you get. So obviously Inflict Wounds right here. Hellish Rebuke is more of a reaction spell. So you can set this to reaction if you wanted to. And then it does scale up in more damage depending on your spell level power that you use. So something to consider. Inflict Wounds being more of the Necromancer type of spell. And again, this is only really available on any kind of clerics, I think, get this, just innately. So other than you and clerics, that's the only ones who get Inflict Wounds, and yours goes off Charisma, theirs goes off of Wisdom. So what about Control Undead? At level 3, you get 2 new Oath Charge abilities. Again, Oath Charge being 1 on short rest, recharge, and it doesn't matter how many Paladin levels you get. You just get 1 per short rest. So you can use now Control Undead or Dreadful Aspect. So Control Undead right here. Stop it. Perfect. Just put that up. Okay. There we go. So Control Undead, it's an action. It's an oath charge. It takes control of the undead. Go figure. You must be one level higher than whoever you're trying to control, and it is a wisdom save to get it off. But if you can get it off, you'll then, I guess, control them until long rest. I personally really have never used this in honor mode or run, so please throw a comment down there. Tell me if you're a Oathbreaker lover and love this thing, because I want to know. Yeah, in practice, I kind of want to see this. I don't have the best examples here in Act 3 to use so far. I guess I could go find that undead bum. Yeah, whatever. Dreadful Aspect. Let's get back here. I'll put that on the screen. So Dreadful Aspect is kind of like cut off. Sorry about that. But right here, action, 1 oath charge. It's a 30-foot radius around you, right? And it'll frighten people for 2 turns if they miss the wisdom saving throw. So actually pretty useful, because then they can't run from you. I believe frightened targets, keep you, they have disadvantage against ability checks and attacks. So frightened, pretty good for getting in there and setting up something for somebody else. Not bad on a short rest recharge, okay? So level 5, Crown of Madness spells right here. This is an enchantment spell, 3 turns, but it is concentration. And then you do have Darkness, which we all know about Darkness. But I don't know that you really want to spend it on your Paladin slots. Okay, so level 7 is Aura of Hate. Right down here, you have all your auras, but you get Aura of Hate at level 7 only for Oathbreakers. Okay, so if we come here, that's going to be cut off, so I'll just come back to the notes. 10 feet area around you has a passive damage bonus. And it's going to be your charisma modifier is the bonus damage. What I mean by that is right here, just hover over the stat. You'll see whatever the modifier is. Currently for 20, I will have a +5 modifier. Okay, so that's 5 more damage to my weapon while the aura is active. For me and all undead, that means any undead, enemy or friend, doesn't matter, except where everybody gets this wrong, and let's highlight this, it's only for melee weapons. Do you see this undead little friend here? Do you see him? He's a mummy. What is he wielding in his hands? Nothing. Just a fist. So he does not get a bonus. See this guy? This guy up here? He's a big old fat element. Oh, there's Shovel or the Quasit. Nothing. And he's not undead, so it doesn't matter anyway. Okay. So we have an elemental. He's an elemental. He's not undead. He doesn't get a benefit from it. And see the skeleton? Oh, finally an undead. All right, here we go. And he's got nothing for a melee weapon. He has a bow, but it does not affect him. He does not get extra damage. Just +3 from his incredible 16 dexterity. That's actually not that bad though. But yeah, he doesn't get any benefit from this. Do you know who gets a benefit from this? You and enemy undead, who do have a melee weapon, sort of like the ones that the undead skeleton warriors that can raise the dead in Act 2. Oh, and also I think Ketheric and Merkel can all. This is stupid. I'm sorry. Come on. It's great that you get a bonus of damage. That's why you should use it. It's stupid because all other undead could potentially be getting buffed by your paladin. So, yeah, maybe homebrew that or use a mod. I don't know. Come on. If you're going to put in another final patch, Larry. Anyway, done with opinions. Bestow Curse. Coming back to Shadowheart here. So, Bestow Curse. Bestow Curse. Oh my gosh. Right here. So, Bestow Curse has a few options in and of itself. Click on this. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Okay, you can do things like disadvantage on attack rolls against you, dread, where they're like possibly skipping their turn, which is pretty powerful, dexterity disadvantage, and so much more. All right, so will you blow a level 3 spell slot versus actually raising one little undead guy? I don't know, because that's your choices here at level 9. You get your level 3 spell slots, and you can finally animate the dead. Oh wait, it's just a level 3 spell slot. It's just a single zombie. I don't know, but at least you're doing it. That's cool. It's part of the class, so not to be too judgmental. Paladins themselves, as always, let's look at the actual class. Your charisma stat is your spellcasting modifier. Your spell save DC and attack accuracy is all based around that. Your modifier right here is what we're talking about. Comes from how much you level up the actual stat. Has something to do with your saving throws, but these don't come up all that often in the game, in my opinion. So there's really only the big value in dialogue. Right? Deception, intimidation, performance, all that stuff, okay? Especially in intimidation, since you do, I think, get the advantage on... there's like a cantrip for it. Anyway, I'm forgetting right now. But they are half-casters, which kind of neuters their capability to use animate dead, just objectively, like straight up. So consider that if you're going to multi-class or use this as your multi-class, or your dedicated class, right? Prepared spells. Just like Druid and Cleric, you know all of your spells, and you have to prepare them out of combat. If you don't want to use, say, Revivify, and you do want Magic Weapon, just swap it. There it is on your bar. If you don't want this anymore, you can just swap it out, get Daylight. So you choose what you need, as long as the spells you do have are something you might need. You can swap them out on the fly. They do get their extra attack at level 5, right? So if we came down here, just extra attack, pretty standard for martial classes like fighter or ranger, paladin, and monk and such. Oath charges. Okay, oath charges. These do not get really any better. You just get 1 per short rest for as many levels as you do. No, I don't want to word it that way. Just doesn't matter how much you level up your paladin. Seems like you always just get 1 oath charge. Okay, lay on hand charges do get a little bit better, but they're per long rest. So you do get a little bit more of these, and these can be used to heal yourself, or I think, a group a little bit, or cure somebody from a disease. That's kind of cool. Auras. Obviously, auras are a big consideration with paladins because Aura of Protection is pretty powerful. It's your charisma bonus to saving throws. So you're getting some crazy saving throws up to 16, up to 13 here, right? With that +5 bonus. And it's in an aura around you. So everybody here is getting that +5 bonus. And then there's the Aura of Courage. Nobody here can be frightened if they're within range of my paladin. And then there is Smites, 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 Smites. Are these Smites good? We're not talking about it in this video. We're going to talk about smites in another video big time. But the one you should always be considering is Divine Smite. It is radiant damage. You can scale it upwards, and even better, you can set it to reaction. So if you want to save it for a critical hit, it won't blow your actual reaction resource, the little purple thing here. But obviously smite damage can get kind of crazy, especially with crits and hold person and all that stuff. We've talked about that before. My oats! Oh my gosh, I broke my oats! You know, if it was any other subclass, you do have to keep this as a consideration. Oathbreaker, not so much. Kind of the whole point, it's Oathbreaker. So in the story, the dialogue, the choices, the things you do, one class that actually has to be worried about that kind of stuff and be aware of it. Overall, Paladins are tanky, and they're smitey. What more can I say about them? By level 12, you're going to have an extra attack. You're going to have innate radiant damage on your melee attacks, as if you were divine smiting all the time, so that's kind of cool. It's only melee, by the way. You do have 3 level 3 spell slots if you go all the way into Paladin, right? And you do have 1 Oath per short rest at level 12. Like I said, doesn't change, but it is short rest resource and long rest resource. It's just 5 lay on hand charges until you rest, okay? So is there any specific gear for specifically Oathbreaker specific? No. Not really. Visually, though, I will give you some hints. If you're not modding with transmog and stuff like that, you're going to be looking out for Kethric's armor. At the end of Act 2, you can get the Reaper's Embrace. Looks pretty baller. Let's take this off. Right? Skeletal with the spooky hands on the shoulders. Oh, yeah. It's heavy armor, and it's 19 armor class, and reduces damage by 2, which is actually better than you think it is. Don't go stealthing in this thing. There is the Reaper's Rigidity, which you can kind of just toggle on and off. I don't know why it just popped off. That was weird. Where'd it go? Okay. Reaper's Rigidity, anybody? Where is this? So Reaper's Rigidity, what you can do is drag this down here, and then you can toggle it on and off. This will make it so you can't be moved by spells or pushes or whatnot, but you also get disadvantage on dexterity saving throws. So a little bit of trade-off there. There's the Blackguard set. I have the whole set right here. There's the boots, which suck compared to this. Okay? It just gives you long strider and athletics, and you could just get Boots of Persistence, which maybe your daemon died because you're a bad guy, so take these. You can get the Blackguard chestplate, which is actually pretty decent. Same armor class as Reapers. Looks like this. Fashion-wise, I don't know if you like it. Anyway. But yeah, it's 19 armor class, reduces 1 instead of 2, but you do get wisdom saving throws advantage. And then there's the Blackguard gauntlets, which I'm using in this build just to give the bonus extra inflict wounds, which is a level 4 spell, as opposed to your level 1, 2, or 3. So this could be like your big inflict wounds. That's like your highest spell if you want to pretend that. But honestly, it's more just visual stuff, right guys? Flavor, visual. There's the Saravok helmet. This is actually a very good helmet. Can potentially help you with crits. You won't get frightened. Constitution saving throw. Medium armor, and you can't be blinded when it's working correctly. There was a time when it wasn't. Helldust stuff. The actual Helldust stuff in Act 3 seems very Fallen Paladin, Oathbreaker-ish, but anyone can really use that stuff. And then just correct me if I'm wrong if there's any other specific gear. What about any kind of Death Knight events or Oathbreaker specific stuff? There's the Oathbreaker himself. Like I said, if you're concerned about your oats and you want to give it up and tired of playing with oats, you can just talk to the Oathbreaker. He's like, I don't know, maybe, I think you should pay me and Withers to get your oats back. And you're like, nah, I'm good, man. Just make me an Oathbreaker. Yep. So, again, correct me if there's anything specific with Oathbreaker. I don't think there is. Let's just look at a pure 12. We'll reload again. Pop this back in. Alright. While we're loading in, we got Shadowheart. I picked her as our example because I guess she can't remember what her oats were and she broke them. So, her feats are going to be alert for high initiative, especially because we're not using dexterity. We have Actor, which gives us 1 charisma and those deception expertise. We do have +2 charisma to get it all the way to 19 or 17, or 17 becomes 18 with Actor, and then 18 becomes 20 with charisma. Just generic heroic elixir because it does give us more saving throws and accuracy on our weapons and such. Melee is really just geared towards giving us strength. And for those out there, like, okay, level 12, whatever. Listen, in Act 1, you can get a mace that gives you a strength of 19, which is effectively the same thing here. So even as early as Act 1, you can get a weapon. It's the Hill Giant Club. Okay, you can have 18 strength effectively just by carrying it. You'll have a weapon for melee. You'll be able to carry lots of stuff. Okay, you can carry a shield just like this build, and in Act 1 you can get a bow that gives you 1 extra initiative. It's the same setup the whole game, just for those concerned about leveling and, you know, not just a level 12 build here. Okay, so keep that in mind. That's how it's built here. This is really more for flavor and just visuals because, hey man, if you wanted to play a Death Knight, sorry, you're stuck just taking the visuals over the power. I'm trying to make it as good as I can for you. Alright, so You've got the melee with the strength mace and a big shield. This gets stronger because you can pick up Viconia's shield, which is a unique +3 shield. There's a generic one out there, but you can find this one because it's a stupidly good shield. Okay, the bow is just more initiative. Like I said, Act 1 you can find an initiative bow, +1 initiative. Act 3 you can upgrade it to +3 initiative. With alert you got +8 initiative. That's great for a character that has no dexterity and is using heavy armor. Okay, normally very slow. So armor, just fashion, and lots of armor class, and some defensive values. We have decent spell attack. Honestly, pretty decent. 17, especially for the spell attack with the inflict wounds, not bad. Okay. We have good armor class for sure. 23 is not fantastic, but it's good. High initiative, +8 is totally fine. Bonus charisma damage coming from the aura of hate. Right, so as bad as this might be against undead, it's very rare that it really does, you know, work against you. You do get the bonus extra damage to your weapon coming from +5 charisma, right? +5 charisma modifier is being added to exclusively our melee weapon. Okay, so we do have auras just like that one, and the saving throws. Again, our saving throws are kind of crazy, especially for wisdom, even for dexterity, if we're going to turn off the Reaper's Embrace and stuff. We have smites. Paladins can always just smite, right? And then maybe inflict wounds instead of the smite. I don't know. If you just want the flavor of that, I think the smite is always going to kind of do you better, though, unfortunately. Necromancer. Not really. You get 1 skeleton or 1 zombie. If you want to keep blowing your level 3 spells, which you're now sacrificing so you can't do inflict wounds or smite. I guess you could do control undead, but again, this is a short resource. There's only 1 per short rest, and then there's obviously the non-exclusive stuff like Danse Macabre, Shovel, and all that stuff. So we'll just have everybody step back, just see what a paladin can maybe do on its own. This is going to be a bad example because, again, we're not really like decked out, sweaty gamer, try hard over here. Let's have you ungroup, and we'll stay over here in the darkness, and you can raise the dead. Okay, so like I said, with a little bit of an example, we can raise the dead here. Make sure you pick their pockets. Good job. Let's maybe make a skeleton because we're more of the forward fighter, and we're not going to try and take on the world with this build, and that's my fault. So thanks for at least being a little understanding on that. Like I said, you can do things, paladin things like grovel. Let's see if we can land that. Nope, because screw you, 75 is apparently not good enough. Alright, and sorry, Shadowheart, we're not here to help. Hide the dead bodies. Good luck! Drop you off at school, bye! Alright, let's do something. This comes from the armor. Howl of the Dead, you're numbed. What does numb do? It's just this little thing from Kethric's armor where their movement speed can't run away from me as if they would. And the spellcaster has advantage on attack rolls against the affected entity. So now I have better accuracy against them. Woohoo! Alright, I'm going to show you a very shortcoming of even having a ranged summon. Alright, so here's something. Skelly here has 11 armor class. I have 23 armor class. Okay, that's not showing very well. So I have 23 armor class. If I have 23 armor class and he has 11 armor class, who do you think they're going to go for? Well, Skelly already knows. Watch them go after me anyway. Yeah, go for me. Oh, good. Well, that's fantastic. Alright. Thank you so much, Aronson, for proving me wrong. Oftentimes, the AI is just going to go for the target they can actually hit. I don't know why you think you can hit me when I have 23 armor class, and for the first hit, you have disadvantage. That's why I'm glowing like this. I have blur. So they have disadvantage from hitting me and 23 armor class, but thanks for proving me wrong, guys. I really appreciate that. So Skelly here should really be targeted before me. But anyway, with our single short rest ability, we will try, hopefully not fail, and we will get Spiteful Suffering. And now our bonus, let's challenge him to a duel. And that was a level 1 spell slot wasted. I mean used, not wasted. And that means we get advantage. Oh yeah, cool. And now he's compelled to hit me instead of Skelly. All right. And now you're gonna target Minthara, but not the skeleton with 11 armor class. I love you. You're so fantastic. You're a great person. All right. So, like I said, you don't normally get a level 4 spell slot. God, I would spend it on Animate Dead. But just for flavor, the gloves is what gives us a maxed out, or like a higher powered inflict wounds. This could potentially crit. Look at that. 34 is not too bad. Awesome. And now I will just stand here, I guess. Very cool. Very cool. It's the reason I'm not fighting the world. Bang. Alright, he's dead. So Skelly also does some damage and whatnot. Remember, he took a little damage from our Spiteful Suffering ability. What if I just bring Skelly right next to him? Whatever. And as always, which you probably should do, I think I've rested my case, you should probably just smite them. Okay? Just go to level 3 and smite. Look at that damage. I'm not even trying to be like a good smiter or anything like that. Alright, and you get extra attacks. So what does that mean? You can smite them again if you needed to. Okay. Woohoo! Alright. Good job, Skelly. So, there we go. There we have it. Lots of time just to break down the Oathbreaker. Seems more like a paladin if you ask me. Especially if you're just going straight level 12 paladin. Okay, so clearly I'm a little biased here and we'll talk about opinionated. Let's just see what we saw here, right? Seems more like a paladin. Remember, you are kind of not, I don't know, you're limited by this one oath charge per short rest. This lay on hands can heal me, but it can't heal Skelly. He is undead. Sorry, Skelly. Lay on hands can't heal the undead. You are a half caster, so like we've just run through a lot of our, like half our resources right there. And this is only one per short rest, so that's a little limiting. Inflict wounds, smite be cool. Yeah, inflict wounds is cool. I really like this spell. What I don't like about it is it doesn't jive well with my extra attack ability, right? And it's just not as powerful as a smite. And I can choose when to smite if I didn't like the hit, or I can save it. But at least it can crit with like hold person or something like that. So it's not like you have to build for crits, and you can still make this stronger with crits, okay? Auras are pretty helpful. At least Skelly here does benefit from that, but he doesn't benefit from the extra charisma damage. But I do, and I do have some crazy saving throws. And yeah, there's not much here for summons play. Without like the, you know, Act 3 silliness of Dance Macabre and some other stuff, or just being a good complement to your team. If you had a team of summons, your auras would be helping out, at least the saving throw and the non-frightened stuff, and helping your team that way. So here's my opinion though. Very opinionated, and this is more just level 12 Oathbreaker, okay? You're not really a Donkey Kong. You're not a Death Knight, okay? So obviously you're just joking around there. Not really a Death Knight, okay? There's not much for summons on its own. So I know it's related to the topic. I wanted to, you know, highlight it, especially on its own merits, to just let you know if this was a consideration. Please don't be disappointed. It's not very much like a Death Knight or a Summon class. Obviously, it looks better for multis, and we will talk about that in the next video. But it feels very undercooked even for what it is. Being like, this is an opinion. It just feels like, even for a Fallen Paladin or something like that, why is my damage radiant? Is it really like, and I could be like D&D or 5e edition, or honestly I could just look at Larian and be like, if he made all these cool changes for supposedly like differences from the you know, the actual game, like why didn't you make, I don't know, this just feels very undercooked, okay? Why can't I have necrotic damage innately, like the radiant damage instead? I'm always a big proponent of like, I want to see something cool for going into the class, no multi-class, level 12. What can it do for me? Even if it's not the strongest. I say this all the time, and yet this still feels very undercooked to me. Inflict wounds is like, why would I use it when I can't use my extra attack? Spiteful Suffering is, all of these are cool. I want to tell me in the comments, control undead. I want to see this, right? Dreadful Aspect is actually cool. You know what's not cool? For going 12 levels in Paladin, every short rest, I only get one oath charge. And lay on hands, let's look at like Warcraft 3. Why can't I use like Death Coil instead of lay on hands, right? I could just heal my skeletons. It's a trade-off. It fits the theme, or maybe I could do both. It's just like a unique property of the subclass that would hide right here, right? Notable features. Yeah, I think all oaths fail, except for maybe Vengeance, to an extent. and I'm very biased on that when it comes to Paladin design, but that's just the overall opinion of it. Specifically with Oathbreaker, I think Death Domain has your niche, has your number. Watch out, Oathbreaker fans. Sorry, I'm pissing somebody off here, but I'm not doing it on purpose. I'm just saying, check out the Death Domain. It looks cool. We saw the preview for it. Can't wait for what they do with it officially in patch 8. So, and I can always be easily wrong about things because this is just an opinion. Maybe you're playing this and there's some cool secrets. I always find out cool stuff from you guys, so let me know. All right, let's switch gears because I'm obviously a little biased here and I do want to focus on my little hipster choice of Warlock. There is no subclass dedicated to this, but I do want to mention, and we saw this a little bit in the preview video I did for Hexblade. In patch 8, we are getting Hexblade as a new subclass. Larian is doing homebrew, and it does look more, if you read their description, it looks more oriented towards killing people, cursing them, and then arising to fight for you. So I don't know how much they're going to change it from the tabletop rules of Hexblade. But if we just look at Warlock on its own right now, you do get Pact of the Tome, and at level 5 it upgrades to give you Animate Undead, but it can't scale and it doesn't use your Warlock slot. I don't get it. But you do get it! So you are a Warlock or a Necromancer, yeah. So you can use Animate Dead. I showed you can use the Elemental. You can use this as one of your invocations, which it does use your invocation, so come on, Larian, what the heck? Alright, anyway. You can get an Elemental, right? Games like Diablo 2, you can get your little golem, right? So that's what I'm kind of referencing there. Warlock slots, personally, let's just talk about this. Eldritch Blast, if you can give me a Warlock that's not just Eldritch Blast, just like a Paladin that isn't just smite, smite, smite. Let's be serious. If you want to smite, you only need 2 levels of Paladin. I really think there's more to the class, or I would hope there's more to the class than just smite, 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 okay? But you could do it better than just being pure Paladin to an extent, okay? If you want to be the best Eldritch Blaster, it's really just costs you 2 levels in Warlock. Anybody can be an Eldritch Blaster, some of the best damage in the game. I like Warlock spell slots. They're not the best. I'm not here to say they're better than everything else. I just think it's very cool, mechanically, that it's a different way to do spell slots, and it does mean all of your spells are automatically upgraded to level 5, so if they do have an upcast benefit, like Blight or Vampiric Touch, they are innately stronger, and you get 9. That's 3 times 3. 3 short rest periods, 3 spell slots, that's 9 level 5 Blights. Maybe it's not the strongest thing, because necrotic damage isn't the strongest thing, but it's cool, man. Alright, just get, whatever. I gotta get to the build. Alright, so Bone Chill and Vampiric Touch, just keep in mind, these are both melee, or spell attack rolls. They can crit, so if you have a hold person or a crit build, you can crit. Life Drinker, at level 12, Warlocks can get the invocation Life Drinker. It's going to add your charisma as necrotic damage to your weapon attacks. And Asterion, if you ascend him as a vampire and do a very naughty thing, you can get 1d10 on all of your weapon attacks. So I like that little combination. It's very vampire necro related, okay? Vampires themselves are necromancy related, in my opinion. Okay, so again, I'm very opinionated, obviously, and I'm being a contrarian here. Fine, whatever, I admit it. You do get also level 3 or level 5 your what is it? Your Tome. Yeah, your Pact of the Tome Warlock will get haste once per long rest, animate once per long rest. At level 11 you get a choice of a level 6 spell and create dead, so we do have mummy, and yeah, you do have your spell slot choices, but again, anytime you use one of these spell slots, they may not benefit from the upcasting, and also, you know, if your build was like focused on this or this or this or this, you're wasting that per short rest. So always have a good reliable cantrip. And yes, I love Eldritch Blast, but I try to stay away from it because it's too good. Okay. Asterion here, huh? The Patrician Vampiric Necromancer choice, huh? Alright, it's really more the Contrarian choice, so. We'll see if this gets better in Hexblade. We will revisit this, because at least then you will be able to get a Charisma-based weapon at level 1. Okay, so Actor, as we're leveling up, we would get Actor first, because that would take us from 17 Charisma starting to 18, plus you'll have a good face character or main character for Deception, Performance. Okay, you get the expertise there. Then you can get Spell Sniper. More than likely you would take that next, because Spell Sniper gives us critical hit rolls, but if you're not going for a crit build, don't worry about it. And then +2 Charisma on the level up, probably by level 12 you can just invest in more charisma for better spell attack, dialogue, all that stuff, okay? Viciousness, because we were going for a crit build, so right down here we have the crit elixir viciousness. Again, stacks with the other stuff. We do have the hat. That's how we're able to get to 22 charisma. We have the Constitution amulet from Act 3. Again, this is how we're able to get max Constitution, and this is amazing for concentration, which I'll show you in a moment. And then Astarion is a vampire lord if you make the wrong or the dark side choice in his little story companion quest, origin quest, and that will give you the extra necrotic damage, 1d10 on your weapons, okay? So weapons here are just built for Rhapsody. We know what this does. 3 damage on just about everything, 3 accuracy on just about everything, and then extra saving, what is it? Is it saving throws, right? Yeah. Spell save, DC, attack rolls. Oh, yeah. So basically accuracy and damage, big time improvement there. And then the knife and the dead shot both lower your crit, plus it gives you an offhand attack, and you don't have to learn how to dual wield and all that stuff. So you won't get max damage from this, but you can add more damage to it, which I find very valuable with Arcane Synergy and the vampire stuff. Okay. So gear. You want good charisma? 22 charisma. And with good charisma, we can add bonus from our cantrips, right? So the Potent Robes actually adds the +6 charisma damage to the Bone Chill cantrip, and of course Eldritch Blast and any other cantrips we choose to use, okay? When we use a cantrip, we get Arcane Synergy on our offhand attack, so we can add that +6 to our offhand attack, making it even stronger. Do something with our action economy there, okay? And if we have good AC, so even without any armor, thanks to things like bracers of defense and having good dexterity from the beginning, we have good armor class, even with robes on. Mage armor, obviously, we get the shadow, armor of shadows invocation there. So good concentration just from this alone, really. But then we do have a couple saving throw items, plus the paladin right next to us. We're benefiting from that if we have a paladin in the group. So good spell save DC and attack. I think this is pretty good. 19 is pretty good. 22 is definitely good. Okay, so we can definitely land our blights even without that special staff we talked about in video 1. And then Vampiric Touch can hit because it's an attack roll. Arms of Hadar is a little AoE and upscales with our spell slots. And we have 9 level 5 spell slots. This is a little disingenuous, fine. It's 3 level spell slots, but they're all level 5. They all upscale these attacks right here, right? We can do things like Darkness, we can do things like Hunger of Hadar, but this is really what I want to use, okay? And we can be conservative with Bone Chill, or a little less conservative, but Vampiric Touch is a concentration. Once we cast this, we can continue to recast it for 10 turns, and it will heal us, which is kind of cool, because the robes give us temporary HP every turn, and this will give us HP back from killing people. We can bite them because we're a vampire Astarion, heal from that too, so on and so forth. And all of our spells like Blight, Vampiric Touch, and Arms of Hadar are level 9 or level 5 spell slots, but we get 3 of them and short rest period, right? Okay, spell attack crits can happen because we're built, what is it right now? 1, 2, spell sniper, and viciousness elixir. That's 16 or up on the D20 will crit, and we're a vampire. Ooh, we can bite him. Oh, Vampiric Touch. Okay, so yeah, obviously I chose him for that. What about Necromancer? Well, let's actually just do it. We'll get into the example and shush. All right, so like I said, you can get at least 1 skeleton or zombo. You can get 1 mummy. It's not exactly Necromancer, but like I said, Diablo 2 has the little golem, so we can do an earth elemental or any elemental you want. You can have, since you're a warlock, you can learn the shovel spell, so you can have shovel 2. And the cool thing about shovel is he can go invisible all the time. If you give him high initiative, he can do this very reliably, where you come up, sneak, hide, and attack. All right. And he's surprised, even though we missed. Awesome. Cool. Like I said, let's have everybody hide in a corner with the dead bodies. There we go. And let's see what Astarion can do. Okay. So what do we got here? It's Whispering Promise, Arcane Synergy Ring. Okay. So, Arcane Synergy Ring, if we use our cantrip, we'll give a bonus to our offhand attack. Whispering Promise is pretty cool because if we get a Vamp Heal, we'll get Bless, and we can just keep using Vamp Heal, right? So he's surprised now, so we have a free turn and we have high initiative. All of our dudes have initiative. So, yeah, just remember that cool little trick with shovel. But yeah, we could just get started with a vamp touch. Now we're concentrating on that. We can keep casting the level 5 vamp touch without using more warlock slots. And like I said, our offhand attack gives us another little action since we're in. Ooh, god damn! Oof. Okay, that wasn't that strong, but it was cool. We can crit on our weapon attacks and our spell attacks, these two and these two, right? Including our bite. So we're built for crits, and if somebody could hold person for us, we can always guarantee that. But yeah, I think that's pretty cool. We just doubled the dice damage there, which gives us more heals, and we can keep doing it because we're concentrating on it. You get the picture. Alright, so this and this and this, and then there's our skeleton. Okay, so just what we're doing alone on our own. Oh, and if I could walk in close, our skelly boy here could actually get a guaranteed. Or no, he's frightened. Never mind. Whatever. Alright. By the way, he has great accuracy. Fantastic. Okay, so let's see if we could jump over here, get the mummy. What's cool is, with the mummy and the Great Old One subclass, if you get a crit, everybody gets frightened. And if they're frightened already, your mummy can do multi-attack. Or no. What? Or can I just not reach him? No! I was wrong about that. Alright. He's already scared, though. Does it have to be your specific scare? It says right here. Whatever. Alright, scratch that. Who cares? Whatever. I'm just gonna hit him with the mummy. Or not. Because all these summons are amazing. Alright, come over here. We got a golem. Once again, Garsen blunders right on the video. Alright, doesn't matter. Maybe not that, buddy. Let's... No, you know... Okay, yeah. Yeah, you know what? Let's just... Okay. Oh, boy. Good job. Alright, just sit there. Fantastic. The patrician choice, clearly. Alright, shoot him. Alright. Shovel can turn invisible. Keep him alive for next combat. He's already done his job. You're not scared anymore. Maybe we can scare you now. Or just punch him. Yeah, he's dead. And of course, we do have a ranged attack. We're going to pretend Eldritch Blast does not exist. Yeah, look at that. And that does a little extra damage with our +5 charisma. And now we have arcane synergy, so we can poke him with our offhand attack with even more damage, right? Cool stuff. Now imagine this with Danse Macabre. Oh yeah. You have some real Necromancer stuff going on. Alright. Now you can attack somebody, dummy. Ooh, you're prone. That's good. Well, that helps us. Big time. Yeah, we don't care about you guys. Alright, so he's actually prone, so if I can show this off. If you're prone, it's pretty much a guaranteed crit, right? As long as I'm next to you. Yeah, guess maybe I'm wrong about it. I got my stuff wrong again. Oh, well. Anyway, I want to see Asterion use his vampiric touch. Or you know what? Should we blight him? Yeah, let's blight him. Blight! Yeah! What was that, like a... Hold on, I'll tell you guys. 49. 49, man. That's pretty cool. And remember, Blight has... It's not an attack roll. It's a constitution saving throw, but it's always level 5, and it's got a 30-foot range. Like, cool as hell, man. And of course, if you just short rest, you get 3 more Blights back! Oh my god! I know, it's not like the craziest, strongest build. I just value builds like that that can show like what the class can do rather than this, it's Eldritch Blast, man. So, again, you get 1 whole zombie. It's only once per long rest, too. It doesn't even use your spell slot. You get a mummy, though. You get an elemental. You get Hexblade, some new Hexblade stuff, so we'll revisit this build when that comes out. But yeah, you can also use non-exclusive stuff like Shovel, kind of, and Danse Macabre definitely fits this character, let alone the theme and the build. But that's gonna do it. Let's just talk about it. I'm obviously going to be talking about multi-class in the next one, right? I literally got a comment already that was like, when I was talking about Spore and the Necromancer over here, I literally already got, why not both? Oh yeah, we're going to definitely check out both, especially multi-classing with Oathbreaker in mind is, I think, the way to go with that one. The Danse Macabre is something we obviously have been waiting to talk about, saving it for the end, so you can get lots of undead with that, especially with this guy right here. It's for anybody as long as they fulfill that quest, but it's it's only 1 character per campaign, right? It's cool on this Warlock setup, like I said earlier, Asterion setup, because then you would feel like a vampire lord with the ghouls at your back. And then there is the Abyss Beckoners, which has a very unique benefit to necromancers and the undead, especially the ghouls. So we'll go over the Abyss Beckoners. Stop saving that for later, okay? So who's our sponsor? You! So thank you for watching. Appreciate you. All my ghoul friends out there, I appreciate you guys. If you actually want to see this stuff not at level 12, right now we're doing the Spore Druid on the stream. I think I'm going to be streaming that later today. And if you want to, check out the fun little experiment with the Dark Ranger. It's a lone wolf run in honor mode that went wrong, and I kept going. Try that yourself. It's for me to experiment lone wolf strategies and cheese, but that does incorporate the sort of like Sylvanas, Dark Ranger, Raising the Dead with the Spore Druid multi-class, so check that out too. But otherwise, again, I appreciate you watching. We're almost at the final video here. Until then, though, I'll leave you at that. I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you then.